What's going on, guys? T Torres back here for another video. So in today's video, we are going to be going over why we traded in our Chevy Bolt EUV Premier model for the 2023 Volkswagen ID.4 Pro. So let's hop in the car and go over some important details. All right. So as I mentioned in the last clip, we're going to go over why we traded in our 2023 Chevy Bolt EUV for our brand new 2023 ID.4 Pro. And if you haven't seen that video, we have it in a I have it in a playlist. So one of the big things about getting this car was we were able to take advantage of the $7,500 tax credit up front. So we leased it. We had to make 3 car payments, which allowed us, one, if you lease the car, you get $7,500 off the rip, off the price. So that was a huge incentive. So we got to make 3 payments so we can get that $7,500 for sure, and then we'll just buy the car outright. So go ahead and tell them some of the things that you like better about the ID.4, or why we switched from the Bolt to the ID.4.
Well, it was all kind of unintentional too at the time, but we had originally looked at this car to begin with, but I just decided to go with the Bolt. But there's a couple of trade-offs, but right off the bat, this thing pulls several more kilowatts per hour charging, so it makes traveling easier. You don't have to stop for, what, 20-30 minutes with the Bolt?
Oh, yeah, the Bolt was even more. It's like 45-50 minutes.
And then with this one, I think our first charge when we hit the road to visit family was 7 minutes, 7 or 9 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't, like, yeah, we were able to do, so like, I think the Bolt maxes out at like 55 kilowatts. So road tripping in the Bolt was, not that it was extremely difficult, it just meant having to wait more time at the charging station. With this car, it, you know, doubles the charging speed. I think when we took our first road trip, which we have a video on that as well, it's in the ID.4 playlist. So when we took the first road trip, we got to our first Electrify America station, and we charged at, I think it was like 130, 140 kilowatts, which that would never happen in the Bolt. So, I mean, we barely had enough time to go to the bathroom. She go to the bathroom, I go to the bathroom, walk the dogs. And long before that was even over with, the car was already charged, and we had enough to make it to our next stop. So it was a no-brainer doing that. And then one of the cool features that I like, Electrify America has partnered up with Volkswagen, and we get 3 years free, bless you, 3 years free of DC fast charging for 30 minutes, and then 60 minutes of level 2 charging at Electrify America. So that was a big cool factor, that we don't have to spend money at the charger station. So I don't have to have my Electrify America Pass Plus anymore. So that's cool. But sorry, go ahead.
Another thing I like is just the room. I mean, we don't do a whole lot of traveling. We have more so the past 2 years, but it's just the 2 of us, and we have 2 dogs, and they're very little dogs. But even just the space that we have, storage, the trunk space is bigger, as well as it has another hatch to have storage under the trunk. I don't really know what you call that, but just way more room. The front seat itself, like, we have tons of room, so I can just rave about that. So the battery charging was huge for me. The range was big too, because we get almost 100 extra miles per full charge extra than the Bolt. So the Bolt, I think, was around 250. This one can go up to, like,
no, it doesn't go up that high. It does like 272, 275, maybe 280. Yeah, we've
gotten 300.
Yeah, but it has an 82 kilowatt pack, but I think we can only use 77 kilowatts of it. So the Bolt had a 66 kilowatt battery, I believe. I don't remember, but the seats are a lot more comfortable too. Yeah,
I really enjoyed the white interior with the Bolt, and I think that's what really enticed me on just the look of the Bolt, because it's very sporty. But it was hard keeping it clean all the time with 2 dogs, and just us kind of, you know, going to the beach a lot and doing things. It was almost like I didn't want to go anywhere with the car to get it dirty. But this one, like, the seats are easier to clean. It's like a nice, like, fabric / leather seat, so I mean, it just sits more comfortably.
You know, like, it's a lot bigger, She loves the ambient lighting.
I don't know why that is like such a big thing for me.
I think the ambient lighting is cool too. One of the things that I miss about the Bolt is the camera view.
Yeah.
Having the 360-degree like
it had the aerial
bird's eye
view too.
aerial view of the car. I think the Pro model that we're in, I don't think the camera quality for the backup camera, it is nowhere near what the Bolt was.
No, the Bolt was excellent. I mean, it's not a terrible camera. I mean,
No,
it's still
not at
pretty
all.
good, but the quality is definitely a different. You can see the difference in it.
And then so the Bolt had heated and cooled seats. This one being the Pro model, we only have heated seats, which I don't really care for the cooled seats. It had a heated steering wheel. Oh well, who cares? We had the Super Cruise and the Sun and Sound package. I do miss the sound system. Yeah, we do miss having that the Bose upgraded Bose sound system. But the travel assistance on the Volkswagen, it's, I mean, it is autonomous to a certain point, but the Super Cruise was only available on like certain highways, so you can only really use it on major highways. You can set the travel assistance on this on any back road, any highways you want. If you're big into tech, this has a lot of technology in it. It's got kind of like, you know, your Siri on your phone. This has oh yeah, if you say the car's name, which we're not gonna say it because she'll start. You can tell her to turn the heat on, the AC. The Pro S model has a sunroof, and we don't have a sunroof in this one, which I didn't care for that, but you could tell it to, you know, turn the sunroof or open the sunroof. It'll do funny stuff like tell jokes. There's an LED strip too that I was really impressed with. So it's got several, you know, sensors, turning signals and stuff like that. But in the front, and maybe we can show it in a video, I don't know if it'll show up, but it's got a huge LED strip that kind of goes across the front dash in the window. Oh, now I know what you're talking about. So if you have navigation on and say you have the volume off or something and you're not paying attention and you forget you're about to turn, a blue light will flash across the LED strip to let you know. It'll go to the left or the right depending on what your turn is. I think it lights up twice, so that's a pretty cool feature. And then I like that. You know, you can have the maps here, but you can have the radio or whatever going on over here, but you can have your navigation directly in front of you in this little instrument cluster. I do like that. I think that's pretty cool. Oh, one of the big things that I like more about this car than the Bolt had the crappiest cup holders ever. Yeah, you remember that? They were oddly small. You could put a 20-ounce, like, you know, Dr. Pepper something in there, and I don't know, it just wasn't. She could put her full Stanley cup in here. There's so much. There's a lot of room. You got room under the center console. And there's no inside of here is big. Yeah, the gear shift is. Oh yeah, it's right here. It's up so here. That takes, you know, adds even more space for the right, because the Bolt took up some of the knobs to do that. Yeah, that had the buttons. And then, you know what? Oddly enough, now that I think about it, you know, the Bolt didn't have. You couldn't put the AC or the heat on your feet. Yeah. I don't remember. I don't think you could. And then so we walked into the dealership. We looked at the Pro S and the Pro model. I just couldn't justify all the extra money spending on the Pro S to get the sunroof, to get the heated and cooled and massaging seats. I do wish we had the light up Volkswagen emblem. I'm gonna figure out a way to wire it up to accessory power, so when the car comes on, the Volkswagen symbol up front lights up. I think that's a cool feature. What else do we like more about this car? I feel like, and I could be wrong, but the display screen is very driver oriented, I guess, so it's easier to kind of move around the screen for the driver, given that, you know, this is my day-to-day car. So if I want to flip through, you know, navigation to CarPlay, or it's easier to reach. But it also has a bigger display screen for like our road trip, for our first road trip with this. We had, you know, the I can't remember, what's the box called? Oh, the little CarLink box? Yeah. Yeah, so this little box right here allows you to use all your streaming apps, Netflix, YouTube TV, Hulu, Disney Plus, whatever you want. And then we just use the in-car hotspot. I think it's provided by Verizon. So that makes it easy for her. You know, I'll be driving and she can go down the road, watch whatever she wants to watch. And it's got like a little, like, watch. I think the lights come on right there. I think that, I don't know why, but that amazes me. And then you can actually flip through the home screen pages by waving your hand, and there's just a bunch of little crazy different stuff. And then hopefully eventually Volkswagen will get on board with the NACS so we can start charging at Tesla superchargers. I think that's cool. And one of the things is when we bought the Chevy Bolt EUV Premier model, we got the Chevrolet's level 2 charger, which we don't need it anymore, so it stays in the back, and we have the 120 plug in case we go somewhere to somebody's house and we need to let it charge overnight. But Florida and Power Light, where we're at here in Florida, I think it's like $32 a month. They install their own charger. It's like a 40 amp charger. I think it does like 10 kilowatts an hour, and you get unlimited charging at night starting at 9 o'clock to 12 the next day, and then you get unlimited charging on the weekends, and then there's some holidays they have. So we really, I think the Bolt was kind of like a stepping stone. I say this kind of jokingly, but it was kind of like a gateway drug into the EV world, because I had got that car for last year for Christmas. Had I got it, you know, taken delivery on it on 1 January of 2023, we would have gotten the $7,500 tax credit. But being able to take full advantage of the $7,500 tax credit up front and lease the car, and then after 3 months, and then on that 4th payment, just buy the car outright. It's like we almost got like instant equity. Power wise, I think they're both right around 201 horsepower. This one is rear-wheel drive. The Bolt was front-wheel drive.
This one has a better turning radius.
Oh yeah, man, this thing can turn crazy. Oh, another cool thing that this does, we haven't tried it out. Well, we tried it out once, but it wasn't really a parallel parking spot. This thing will parallel park for you. We haven't. We tried it out, but that wasn't.
It wasn't really a parallel.
It wasn't actually a parallel.
It was like
parking spot.
Backing up into a.
It was just backing up to a parking spot. But I was like, oh, let's see what this feature does.
But that's really cool. It does it single-handedly.
It's different having, you have your your driver's side and passenger side windows, and then you have to hit a touch button and it rolls down the rear windows. So that took some getting used to. But I mean, other than that, this car is gonna make for so much better on road trips and fast charging. Don't get me wrong, the regenerative braking on the Bolt was great. I think this one lacks a little bit. The Bolt would actually come to a complete stop for you on its own. This one, you actually have to touch the brakes.
Yeah, I do miss the one pedal.
Yeah,
drive.
Well, we technically have one pedal driving. We just don't have it to the extent that the Bolt did, as far as like coming to a complete stop.
But this one has a brake hold, so if you are sitting at a red light, it still kind of does the. Like,
well, the Bolt did that
braking.
too. It would brake hold you.
Yeah, but this one has it. It just doesn't have the braking that the Bolt has.
Yeah, for the Regen. I felt like the Regen, it put a lot more power back into the battery, as far as when it comes to, you know, if you were in town traveling to like go into stuff in the, you know, urban area in the city, you can definitely gain a lot of miles just, or not use any miles on that. Other than that, we love the pure gray color. I think the pure gray color, that was a big selling point too, because we were going to get the white one, but they were like, well, you know, white shows a lot of dirt and stuff. And then I was like, this one was actually in the showroom floor, and I was like,
it's a much nicer color.
Yeah, I was like, if we can get this one in the showroom floor, this pure gray one, we'll get it today, and we ended up getting it. So, and we've gone. Our first road trip, I think, was like 370 miles, and the amount of time that we have to spend at the charging station is well worth it over what the Bolt was, sitting there for 45-50 minutes plus. So
yeah, and if anybody is on the fence about EV, I have conversations daily with people like, you know, what if you're stuck in traffic? You know, it doesn't really pull anything when you're idling.
No.
I mean, there's not really an inconvenience when you stop. If you think about it, and you're taking a road trip that's 6-7 hours anyways, more than likely you're going to stop to either top off for gas or use the bathroom or eat lunch. So I mean, you're charging while you're doing those things anyways, so it's not really an inconvenience. So
our charging experience with Electrify America, you know, Electrify America kind of has a bad name in some areas, but the Florida Panhandle, we've gone to Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, Orlando, all the networks, and in there we've had no issues. You know, they may have a charger like 1 stall down or 2 stalls down, so we never really had any troubles with that at all. And it's super simple to plug in, and be able
Well, if
to
you
go.
have, what's the plug share? If you have plug share, you can look ahead of it. And
Oh
they
yeah,
actually
plug
have,
share is going to be your best friend.
They actually have like a chat room where people who are traveling as well with EV, you know, they'll say, hey, like charger 1 or 2's down. And anytime I've ever had issues at Electrify America, if you give them a call, they have like 24/7 support. So, I mean, we've never really had any.
We never really had no
issues.
big issue where we were like, screw Electrify America. One of the things we got to figure out, we got to figure out our home link button for the garage. We had it mapped and working, and it doesn't work anymore. But we're super glad to have the ID.4 in the family. My next purchase is going to be the Cybertruck. Hopefully Q3 of this year, if not beginning of next year. This household is going all electric. I'm going to get rid of my diesel truck. I still got a little Honda mini truck. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. There were some small trade-offs, but she's ultimately happy with the Volkswagen ID.4 than the Chevy Bolt. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to knock the Chevy Bolt.
Oh, I love the Bolt, but this is more convenient for us.
Yeah, it just fits our lifestyle a lot more. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, leave this video a big thumbs up. If you're interested in getting that streaming box, I'll have a link down in the description as well. It goes through my Amazon affiliate store. I do get a little kickback for that, so that would be greatly appreciated. But anyways, we'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.